Wolf is Smash's most incomplete fighter. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the thing is, people love how the character is, and he's probably considered Smash Ultimate's premier fighters in the game. I mean, you see, the thing about Wolf is it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows. Him being re-added in Smash Ultimate probably wouldn't have happened if he wasn't added in Brawl in the first place. And well, if you look closely at Wolf in Brawl, you begin to see some problems. His animations are interesting to say the least, and they're probably the choppiest, weirdest animations I've seen in the whole series. Almost on par with Sonic with how rushed some of these moves look. People speculated that both of these characters were extremely last-minute additions, but that's to the point. If Wolf wasn't added in Brawl, there would probably be no reason to add him in Ultimate, as Star Fox as a series has really low priority, especially during the Wii U era, and the series being pretty much dead as a doorknob, as you can say. It would have been a lot harder of an ask to put Wolf in Ultimate than in Brawl, where Star Fox as a series was at a pretty big low point, especially in the Switch era. There was no Star Fox games coming out, and the last one was Zero, and we all know how that one ended. To add more evidence to Wolf being really last minute, if we go to the records and we go to the very end of just the base roster with no record data, Wolf is always near the end, and he's with other characters like Sonic, Toon Link, and Jigglypuff, who are also speculated to be extremely last-minute additions. Another dead giveaway is, yeah, these same group of characters are extremely last-minute inclusions in the Subspace Emissary. Especially Toon Link, Jigglypuff, and Wolf also have really weird, out-of-place cutscenes that are only in the post-game, and they're not part of the actual Subspace Emissary. Yes, they actually wanted to take out Jigglypuff, an original 12 character. I know, kind of crazy back then. So what's the big deal with Wolf? Well, he was added because, just like in Melee, adding in a last-minute clone was a lot easier than adding a full-fledged character, so that's why they chose a Star Fox-like character, because you could basically reuse a lot of Fox's animations. Heck, many of the Forbidden 7, the characters who were also potentially going to be in Brawl but also got cut, a lot of these characters would have been clones too. The amount of characters that we would have gotten in the game if the Forbidden 7 made it is actually kind of crazy. Brawl would have been a big roster. The semi-clone elements for the character are to be expected. He has similarities to Fox and Falco. Wolf's up smash is basically Sonic's up air in a way. His nair is also similar to Sonic's nair. Dare is similar to Diddy Kong's dare. His back air has a similarity to ZSS. And all of Wolf's special moves are basically Fox's, and also sharing the same final smash as the Spaceys. Now, in an interview, Sakurai actually stated that Wolf's popularity made him an easy inclusion in the game compared to Crystal, who was also another Star Fox character that people have wanted for Smash to this day. Wolf was just a lot easier to add. And Sakurai stated himself Wolf was a last-minute addition. So why was Wolf cut in Smash 4? Well, it was likely because he was a low priority choice. Oh, and if you want a little bit of brownie points in a way, yes, Wolf's tumble animation, his arm amputates itself in a way. Don't question it, all right? Don't look too far at it. And make sure to subscribe, by the way. Thank you. Wolf's jab is a 3-hit combo, and the third hit has the max amount of knockback, and forward tilt also has 2 hits, and it is actually a really nice tool for reaching, and it can KO at higher percentages. Up tilt is a kick attack, and it is the strongest at the tip. It can KO at 130%. And down tilt has a decent amount of range, and also you can trip the opponent with it. Dash attack has a really jerky animation, and the second hit of this move has the most amount of KO power on it. And forward smash, every noob's favorite smash attack, because, you know, it does have a lot of range. It's not really that strong at all. It does send Wolf really far though, so keep that in mind. It is actually pretty useful for that. Up smash is a solid move, especially out of Dacus, and the second hit is the strongest part of this move. And down smash, Wolf will swipe both sides. The first hit and then behind, and it's actually a really strong finisher. And Nair is another really weird animation. On its best days, it can kill around 120%. It does have a lot of hits on it, and it makes it difficult to use the better hits of this move, so keep that in mind. And forward air deals vertical amounts of knockback, and it has the potential to KO at 140%. And back air has a short duration, but is actually a pretty solid tool for KOing at 102%. And up air is a strong tool for platform camping and being a jerk, I guess, and keeping people away from you. He does have some of the best meteor smashes in the game, although I wouldn't say it's one of the strongest. It is one of the fastest meteor smashes. Wolf does have the fastest pummel in the game, and it deals 1%. His forward throw doesn't KO until 190%, and back throw doesn't really have any KO potential on it. and doesn't kill until around 200%. And up throw, Wolf pushes the opponent in the air and claws at them. This throw is actually a really bad throw because it sends too high for Wolf to combo out of it, and sometimes it doesn't even have enough KO power to reliably kill with. Down throw is actually a really good throw, being able to semi-spike near the ledge. Also, where characters get sent out of this move, it's actually inconvenient to return back on stage, and it doesn't KO until around 170%. His special moves are clearly taken from the semi-clone counterparts of the character, so having a blaster for his neutral B, but Wolf's is a lot stronger, but it's a lot slower too. The neat thing is the gun actually does have a hitbox, which makes it actually a solid tool for at least keeping opponents away from him in some way. And down special is a reflector. All reflected projectiles deal more damage and travel faster. Wolf's does not stall him in the air like Fox's, and also Wolf's up special is a directional based move. Depending on where the control stick is held, you also have a different color for the up special. What's probably his coolest move in his kit is his side special. This is one of the more moves with interesting utility because of the angle this move comes out at, and if you sweet spot at the end of it, it can meteor smash opponents, and even the semi-spike can semi-spike off stage. It is a powerful KO tool. It's probably one of his best tools in his whole kit. It's a very risky but rewarding move when used correctly. It does set him apart from the other Spaceys too. I think this is easily the coolest part of Wolf's moveset. Now in competitive play, Wolf was mainly outclassed by the other two Spaceys, which is funny looking back, as Wolf had a huge fall off from the first tier list to the second tier list, going from 6th all the way to 22nd, and it's because Wolf's fast fall speed and weight made him really easy to chain grab, and he became vulnerable to many 0 to deaths in the game. And the fact that Wolf's recovery not being that good either held him back quite a bit. And Wolf did have some decent results here and there, but over time people realized that Wolf's had potential outside of just being a character that could just be chain grabbed to death. Even being alright against MetaKnight in some matchups, like, you know, in Brawl, that's pretty good. The character had potential for being a much better element of Brawl's meta. I mean, they could compete with MetaKnight on some level, but if you know anything about the next iteration of the character, Wolf was just not there yet. He was pretty bare bones. It was not dipping into what really made the character a lot better in the next games. I don't want to say he's terrible. He sure had potential, but he was clearly missing many things that made him a lot better, and we're definitely going to go over them. I think they're very important. Now, Wolf was unfortunately not in Smash 4, and this was likely due to him being low priority at the time, and Wolf fans would definitely miss out on him. Heck, you could say Wolf was at home because Fox's custom moves were basically Wolf's special moves. So yeah, we got Wolf at home, guys. But it is interesting to see the least that Wolf changed a lot in the next game. In the return from Smash Ultimate, he was given almost a complete makeover, almost just out of nowhere. A lot of people would wish for their characters to get changed like this. Now, Wolf's changes were some of the most substantial changes that any character has gotten in the whole series of the game. And yes, this is definitely warranted because Wolf's previously unpolished animations compared to some of the other characters in Brawl was kind of weird. And even Sakurai himself acknowledged Wolf's return was because of his popularity, and people miss the character. So yeah, Wolf's back, guys. Wolf was never a character that I hated, and when I was a kid, I actually really liked playing Wolf, even though he was, I guess, competitively kind of a mid-tier character, but I always thought he was cool. Getting a significant rework is definitely what he was needing. He needed an optimized moveset, and I feel like the character is a perfect example of what it takes to clearly make a fighter more competitively viable and actually just dip into that more. It wasn't a bunch of random changes that they gave to a character and they called it a day. You can clearly see that Wolf's early tournament results spiked in Ultimate, and even a lot of competitive players falling in love with Wolf's playstyle, and this doesn't really happen all the time. Just to put it in perspective, this is really rare. Look at characters like Ganon and Zelda. They've been low tiers for God knows how long, and they just decided out of nowhere that we're gonna take a mid-tier from Brawl and make them actually one of the premier characters in Ultimate's early meta, especially before DLC characters were established. Now, he was one of the most played characters, if not the most popular character in the early period of the game. And yes, I know this didn't last forever though. You'll understand why, and I'm sure many of you know why. But you can also see the crazy amounts of animation work that was put into Wolf. Outside of this, this really did put a lot of charm in a lot of his animations. Yes, there is a really stupid taunt nerf. If you know, you know. The taunt was much better in Brawl, we all know it is. Overall, this is a much more polished version of the character, and first off, Wolf is a lot faster. Buffed initial dash speed, and also his air speed is faster. They obviously wanted to make him feel like a fast-paced character this time time around, and they really did delve into that. This makes him feel like almost a borderline melee character at points, and yes, I'm calling him a melee character because most characters in melee are known for their extreme fastfall speeds and just being just fast, okay, we get it. So a lot of spacey mains in melee actually probably are going to like Wolf in Ultimate on some level, as he feels like a lost element of the melee spaces being brought over to Ultimate Wolf, like having the sex kick nair that he never had in Brawl, and this is one of the few differences that he has from Fox now. They said, never mind, we're going to take one of Fox's abandoned moves and just give it to Wolf, and it kind of works out, so there is that. But for the people that care about this type of stuff, this old nair is actually a really good change. This essentially gives him a lot better of a combo game, especially for a move that is one of the most well-known aerials in melee. And Wolf's projectile is a lot bigger, so you can successfully zone with this tool because it's increased hitbox size and speed. It also has a lot less lag too. Kind of reminds me of Melee Falco too in a way, with the way he zones in this game. So there was a honeymoon period for the character, and many of my melee friends actually mained Wolf. I'm sure you could guess why a lot of people just gravitated towards this type of character. He was really, really popular. Wolf got a new dash attack, which became a stronger KO tool with increased amounts of damage. Forward air also became a combo starting tool due to its end lag decreases and also its crazy amounts of range. Yeah, it outranges Marth. Yeah, I know. Having less end lag on a lot of his aerials. His range is insane in this game. His back throw became a potential KO option at higher percents, and this was a really nice change. His down throw and up throw are Wolf's premier options for comboing, and side special and up special are all moves that got buffed especially. Up special went from a really basic recovery tool to being a potential KO option. Yes, look at this. And side special got a mobility buff, which actually makes it be able to be angled up or down. His smash attacks, while I step down from some areas in their range, especially like forward smash has very little cooldown, so even though it has less range, it's still really beefy, and it is a lot faster too. Up smash and down smash still have a lot of range, and even down smash becoming one of his most well-known smash attacks in the whole game. It seriously has a lot of range, and it is really powerful. It is one of the safest down smashes in the game for a long period of time, as you could edge guard just by holding down smash near the ledge, and then you would like kill a lot of characters that way. Yes, it worked. And down special became stronger as it has an increased damage multiplier, and its speed was increased as well. The best shine out of all the spacies, and this also made him into a combo machine, especially for juggling and having one of the strongest neutrals in the game. He was great at controlling space. But Wolf isn't without his flaws, and some of these flaws will actually become very relevant for Wolf's more recent placements in the meta. So sure, Wolf is a lot better, but they did nerf many aspects of Wolf's range, and many of his KO tools have been toned down in some ways, but some are still the same. They did massively nerf his side special and up special's recovery utility. They're a lot shorter in this game. And one of Wolf's biggest flaws is his fast fall speed, so he is a lot easier to edgeguard at times. And you can combine these two negatives together with having a shorter recovery and his fast fall speed to legitimately having a pretty terrible offstage game. This was also 100% intentional, as they didn't port over the recovery buff that Fox and Falco was given in Smash 4 with being able to side special into up special. Yeah, Wolf doesn't have that at all, so Wolf is pretty bad off stage. This is probably one of the biggest nerfs that he got to Brawl was to his recovery. You could argue smaller aspects of Wolf's moveset becoming slower, like some of his startup on his moves, nair and forward air, and also Wolf losing a lot of his quirks that he had in Brawl, like Dacus. But another nail in the coffin was Wolf is a lot lighter, so this is another aspect that is going to make Wolf just a little bit more risky at times, a bit more of a glass cannon style character. His already fast fall speed and weak recovery is going to hurt his survivability. But most people, including myself, would say this is a valid trade, as this is easily one of the most buffed characters from Brawl all the way to Smash Ultimate at this point. So this obviously is the best iteration of the character, no doubt, but it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, as Wolf was a really popular character in the game's early meta. Many early tier lists at the time were placing Wolf as the best character in the game, and this was clearly a well-known aspect even to the devs, as Wolf would be given a mix of buffs and some noticeable nerfs to a lot of his strengths, like nerfing his down smash's knockback, which was Wolf's most popular KO option, especially for its speed and KO power, and Blaster dealing less shield damage thanks to the universal changes to projectiles. An exploit to reduce Wolf's landing lag out of side special was patched out, and then later patches they actually gave more end lag on Blaster, which reduced its safety by a lot. Down smash's hitbox size was reduced, so no. What are we gonna do? We got an edge guard now. The move really couldn't catch a break. Up special's final hitbox was shrunken and hurt this move's range, but they did give Wolf buffs to some of his moves, like allowing Nair to connect reliably thanks to its knockback and hitbox changes. Similarly to up special's improved ability to link into the final hit, the reflector having less startup by a frame and they shortened its duration, having a larger shield size has also benefited him too. But because of the nerfs, Wolf's negatives began to be more prominent in the competitive scene as Wolf lost a lot of his dominance, especially after these nerfs, and still the character would be ranked in the S- tier for the first official Smash Ultimate tier list. He was considered a top 10 character to most people, but the next tier list he would actually be ranked lower and lower in the DLC period as characters like Sonic and Game & Watch would actually start to rise, and Wolf just began to fall off to the A tier, which is actually one of the largest tier list drop-offs in the whole game. So while Wolf still has a dedicated fan base, it is admittedly a lot more niche now, and it's mainly because of Ultimate's power creep just becoming a lot more stronger, especially in the more recent times. So Wolf has just been edged out in a lot of ways. Wolf had an amazing evolution from Brawl to Ultimate. They did a really good job on fixing a lot of the flaws of the character and just giving him a full-fledged moveset. And it's kind of crazy considering he was one of Brawl's last-minute characters, and now he's, you know, one of the more premier characters, at least used to be in Ultimate. But he's still a viable character in the meta. It's not like he completely fell off, as some balance patches did eventually catch up to him, especially the community starting to learn how to play against him. And if we took Wolf as a whole package, I think the evolution from Brawl to Ultimate is one of the more interesting ones in Smash history. He's quirky, okay? Don't look at the tumble animation, okay? Don't curse stuff there, all right? Alright guys, thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you want more videos. There's a Patreon down below if you guys want to support the channel and get videos early. There's also a Discord and Instagram. Alright, thank you guys. Take care. Have a good one.